In 1980, Cuban refugee and ex-convict Tony Montana arrives in Miami during the Mariel boat lift and is sent to a refugee camp with his best friend, Manny Rivera, and their companions, Angel and Chichi. The group is soon released with green cards in exchange for assassinating a former henchman of Fidel Castro at the request of Miami drug lord Frank Lopez. After working briefly as dishwashers, Tony and Manny become dissatisfied, with Tony declaring he's destined for greater things. Frank's associate, Omar Suarez, sends them to buy cocaine from Colombian dealers, but the deal goes south. Tony is forced to watch as Angel is gruesomely murdered. Before Manny and Chichi arrive in time to save him, they kill the dealers, retrieve the drugs and money, and bring them to Frank, suspecting Omar set them up. Tony and Manny start working for Frank, and Tony is drawn to Frank's wife, Elvira. Tony later visits his mother and younger sister, Gina, whom he's protective of, offering his mother money and explaining it away as political earnings. She sees through him and disowns him, though Gina keeps the money. Manny is interested in Gina, but Tony warns him to stay away. Tony and Omar then head to Bolivia to meet with drug kingpin Alejandro Sosa. Displeased with Tony's decision to negotiate a large deal without approval, Omar argues with him, but Sosa reveals that Omar is a police informant and has him executed. Sosa respects Tony's confidence and agrees to the deal, warning him never to betray him. Realizing Frank's limitations, Tony starts his own drug operation. Mel Bernstein, a corrupt detective on Frank's payroll, confronts Tony at a nightclub and tries to extort him for protection. Tony, meanwhile, sees Gina with another man and violently intervenes. Later that night, assassins attempt to kill Tony, who barely escapes. Convinced Frank ordered the hit, Tony confronts him, and Frank confesses, pleading for his life. Tony has Manny kill Frank, after which Tony shoots Bernstein himself. He later marries Elvira and establishes a powerful cocaine empire, complete with a fortified mansion. By 1983, Tony faces tax evasion charges. Sosa offers to help him avoid prison in exchange for assassinating a journalist exposing Sosa's operations. At a fancy restaurant, Tony has a meltdown, blaming Manny for his troubles and accusing Elvira of being infertile and addicted to drugs. Elvira angrily confronts him in front of everyone and then storms out. In New York, Tony and Sosa's enforcer, Shadow, prepare to kill the journalist, but Tony calls off the hit upon seeing the journalist's family. When Shadow refuses, Tony kills him. Sosa, enraged, vows revenge. In Miami, Tony, under the influence of cocaine, finds Manny with Gina and, in a fit of rage, kills him, only to learn they had just married. Grieving, Tony returns to his estate and begins a drug binge. Gina, armed and accusing him of obsessive jealousy, confronts him and shoots him before being killed by one of Sosa's men. As Sosa's army invades, Tony takes up a grenade-launching rifle, fighting them off while sustaining heavy injuries. He taunts his enemies until a hitman sneaks into the office and fatally shoots him. Tony's body falls into the pool, next to a globe with the inscription, "The world is yours."